Hi, and welcome to PowerViews. I'm Dan McDade, your host and president of PointClear. PowerViews is dedicated to finding solutions to some of today's toughest sales and marketing challenges. My guest today is Josiane Feigon. Josiane is the author of Smart Selling on the Phone and Online, and she actually has a new book coming out, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. Since 1994, her firm, TeleSmart Communications, has been a leader in developing global inside sales teams and managers. As a matter of fact, TeleSmart has provided consulting, coaching, and training solutions to hundreds of Fortune 1000 companies, and they include Cisco, Autodesk, Citrix Systems, and Adobe. In addition to her books, Josiane has written hundreds of articles, e-books, trend reports, which again we'll talk about in just a few minutes, and white papers on sales and inside sales, and she is frequently quoted in top business media. Josiane, welcome to PowerViews.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate you joining me today, and I appreciate you getting up just a little bit early because it's 8 o'clock there out in San Francisco where you are. I try to sleep in, but I woke up about 5:30 this morning, so I've been going for a while. I know that this is the 7th year of your publishing the trend report, and I wanted to get a sense before we delve into some of the details for, what are your goals in publishing that report?
I like to publish this sort of trend spotting, especially because inside sales is a field that continues to change so much. So at the beginning of each year, I like to sort of project what I think is going to happen. I'm usually spot on, which I'm excited about, and it's fun. It's really fun, and my goal is to really give direction to a lot of people that are really looking at what they have to think about during the year.
Well, I know there were some great topics. Before we get into those, you had a theme of strong and steady. Can you tell me where that has its origins?
I do. I mean, the last few years, really, the theme has been, just hang on, just hold on, it's going to get better, and especially in the inside sales world, luckily it is exploding. But my theme this year was strong and steady, because that's exactly it. We're coming out of the gate very strong. There's a lot of money out there that's going to be spent, and the skill set is there, and a lot of everything, the groundwork that we laid out in the last few years is finally going to come together. So yes, the theme this year is very positive, and I even start by saying everything is illuminated, which is we are on track.
Yeah, I've heard you actually talk in other interviews about, inside sales exploding, and we've certainly seen that here, and maybe the success of AISP is an example of that. They seem to be growing like a weed. I know that there were a few trends that caught my eye in particular. Of course, we'll encourage the audience to download all of the 2013 predictions, and we'll get back to that in just a couple of minutes. But I was wondering, the couple that caught my eye were, you talked about Millennial Talent is here to stay, and I got a big kick out of that one because I think we probably all deal with Millennial Talent. But what can you tell us about that?
Well, they really are dominating the workforce, and more so in literally the next, 5 to 7 years, without a doubt. And that's important in the sense that we have to pay attention to them. They're not going away, but they're also really bringing everything to a new level in terms of how we're selling, what's possible, how they work. And we really are fortunate to have them now. They really raise the bar for us. But they're a little different, and how to manage them and how to work with them. But they're all about acknowledgement. They're all about fun. But they are a good group to have. And more are going to be flooding not only the workforce, but also our customer base is going to be more millennials as well.
So I guess they kind of look on us as we sort of looked on our parents when the Beatles came around, right? And the other thing is that you talk about the inside sales superhero to the rescue. Tell us a little bit about that.
I do. I spent the last few years comparing inside salespeople to these sniper pilots because they just come in for sort of that moment of just the attack and the target. But I've moved away from this whole violent piece now, and I really do feel that they're a superhero, whereas they are flying above because They're virtual, they're social, they're mobile. They're a very different sort of inside sales superhero, and they are a superhero in the sense that their skills and their qualities are something that we need to open up and be looking for. They have both hard skills and soft skills, and I have in my book sort of the 25 qualities that make for a superhero, and also interview questions of how you can ask to find out if you're really up close and personal with a superhero. But that's really the goal, is we want to have a lot more of these around. And they are superheroes because their work is completely complex compared to maybe the sales or just, a different type of salesperson.
I think you mentioned someplace, or maybe one of the interviews mentioned that you kind of refer to that book as the Cubicle Chronicles. Is that right?
Yeah, well, that's the name that I used to have my blog. It was the Cubicle Chronicles, really what happened in the cubicle. I've changed the name a little bit to Inside Sales Thought Leadership. Mm-hmm. My first book really is a cubicle companion. It's the friend in the cubicle for the inside salespeople. The second book is going to be a different type of friend. It won't be in the cubicle. It'll probably be, in the briefcase, in the Kindle, or something like that.
It'll be in the hands of the manager at that point, right? I think I saw you quoted. I think I saw you say or quoted that you thought that, and I may have the numbers wrong, but that you thought that the number of sales reps was going to go from about 20 million to about 8 million over some relatively short period of time. Did I read that right?
Well, that's our friend Gerhardt that started that whole piece, and I really like it. It's controversial. It gets everybody freaked out. But I do believe that, this Customer 2.0 really doesn't need salespeople anymore. They are incredibly independent, very elusive. They like to shop on their own. They're much smarter. And they're really telling us, hey, stay away. I don't need you. You're a big interruption to me. So yeah, the number of salespeople is going to dwindle. But that doesn't mean that this superhero can't exist, because there is room for that.
Absolutely. Before we leave it, there's a couple of other quick things. I spent a few days at a conference, and we talked a lot about gamification, and it's the new black. I thought that was a great title. Can you tell me about that?
Well, I think right now we really all want to have fun. It's not just all the girls want to have fun. We all want to have fun. And even this Customer 2.0 is really about fun. Entertainment, video is hot. We know that. Why? Because it has this sort of visual eye candy. And gamification is really about that. It's about turning something fun, making it a game, making it more engaging. And especially our millennial talent, they love this. They're the group that was, brought up going to soccer games all the time. Their parents sat and watched them play. They're into that kind of game, competition, acknowledgement, recognition. So gamification exactly is for that. Is it's turning everything into something fun. I know in just our training offerings, we're offering more, role plays, more games, more competitive exercises, anything that can engage in a funner way. And that's what gamification is about.
They also like it when you provide snacks, right?
Chocolates, and cigarette breaks. We've got a group now that's really smoking a lot of cigarettes. I don't know what that's all about, but I like to smoke cigarettes.
Okay, well, I don't know about that one, but and then this one's near and dear to my heart. It's an interesting thing I write a lot about, but you have a section called "Bye-Bye to Meaningless Cold Calls." Talk a little bit about that.
Well, everyone in the industry has talked about, is cold calling dead or alive? Is voicemail dead or alive? Well, they're all dead. They really are. The meaningless one is completely dead. Wasting that live call is gone. It's really an interruption now. And really, even no one wants to answer their phone. No one wants to check their email anymore. So what we're really finding is the intelligent ones, the smart ones that do some social media research, that can really attach something personal. As Steve Richard over at Foresight always says, those 3 individual things, to tag on to in terms of how you approach them is becoming much, much more important. But the meaningless one, without any research, it's gone. It's not possible anymore.
Yeah, just the mindless smiling and dialing, so to speak. Let's talk a little bit about your second book called Smart Sales Manager. It's coming out in late spring, and I know that after you feverishly finished that, you took a quick trip to Morocco to relax, and we had fun talking about that. But can you provide a few highlights from the book that you think our viewers would like to hear about?
I really can. I really feel that the people that are going to get in the way now of salespeople progressing are the managers, and for various reasons. Many managers, the majority of them, really came from being individual contributors. That's how they were promoted. And so what they're doing is they're actually practicing what they did when they were an individual contributor. And that life is gone. It doesn't work anymore. So many of them are setting metrics up the way they used to have when they were in that role, and it's just not working. Many of them are getting in the way of their people being on LinkedIn or Facebook because they don't understand how it fits in. They say, I'm not going to pay my salespeople to be surfing and socializing online all day. So they are really the ones that have started to get in the way. And this book is for them. This book is saying, guys, it's really different now. And it really sort of escorts them into this world in a way that really maps it out, what it looks like, and also helps them, to coach with conscious communication and to be more compassionate in the way they are. I think the wall of shame is gone. The wall of shame and blame, which a lot of sales managers really believe, beating up their salespeople is the way to motivate them, and this book is saying no, that's not really it. So it's got a lot about how to better coach, how to better motivate. There's even a chapter on how to text your people at the end of the quarter. So it really, really is a way to open up their eyes and their heart, their people, in a different way.
Well, tell us a little bit more about TeleSmart Communications, as well as how folks can get in touch with you if they want to reach out, ask a question, or look into your services.
Sure, absolutely. I've had the company for 20 years. It's based in San Francisco, and it primarily focuses on training for teams and managers. And the difference with ourselves and some of the others is our training is really for more of the sophisticated inside salesperson. It's not the smile and dial type of inside salesperson. We change our content constantly, so it's not just telephone training anymore. It's online, social, and phone, which is what inside sales is about. So we're always bringing the latest and greatest to developing inside salespeople, and especially their managers. So we develop and deliver a 2-day program, and usually after that, people walk out of there really understanding, a 10 sort of step skill, which is in my first book, which I call the TeleSmart 10, the essential skills for inside salespeople and managers. So it really opens their eyes to the possibilities of selling on the phone and online and socially as well.
And how can folks reach out to you?
They can look at our site, which is www.tele-smart.com. We've got, trend reports, the one especially that we're launching today, and white papers, and learn more about the program and certainly publish or purchase the book rather.
Well, good. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that we get a chance to see each other at Gerhard's Selling Power group that's meeting, I think it's April 8th and 9th. I'll be out in San Francisco for that and looking forward to it. And thanks again. For now, this is Dan McDade signing off from another edition of PowerViews. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.